Breaking news. Give it up. Give it up for Koyaharu Sensei, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't see how Tanjiro was going to make it out of this. I didn't see how Koyaharu Sensei was going to be able to finish this off without giving Tanjiro this massive power, but he is writing a truly great story with chapter 193. It really is giving us a very cohesive narration as to the direction that he is going and how Tanjiro is going to be able to defeat Muzan. But we are about to get into that. But before we begin, go plus ultra and smash that subscribe button. It lets me know that you're rocking with the content that I put out here on this channel. And without further ado, let's get into this review. Now, I want to start off with quoting the first page because I think it's very powerful moving forward into the rest of this chapter, and it could lead to a lot of further developments down the road for future chapters. And it quotes the narration, right? It says, "When living creatures are on the brink of death, they become stronger. I know that. In order to escape death, they tap into senses and strengths unnecessary in daily life. Those who cannot do so will die, but those who can." That is going to be very pivotal moving forward, especially when you see what is happening with Tanjiro. Now, it's very important that we all have this understanding, and we do all have this understanding that the characters in Kimetsu no Yaiba are human, okay? They are human just as much as we are on Earth, right? They're not Naruto humans that can be slapped like fucking paper dolls. They can't fly through trees and buildings and mountainsides and brush that shit off and get back up. No, they have natural human limitations upon their bodies, okay? We get this nice little tidbit. I mentioned this a couple chapters ago, but Tanjiro was able to turn his blade red. We find out that yes, you can turn your blade red, but it can also regress back into its natural color. So it's red now, but it's stated that it's turning back into its black blade form because his grip strength is beginning to weaken, right? His grip strength is beginning to loosen, and that's because he's running out of stamina. Like, that's the big thing about this chapter. He's starting to run out of stamina. You get to page 6 and you have Muzan stating that his swings are not as formidable as his predecessor when it comes to the sun breathing art, which, you know, again, when Muzan fought the strongest, Tanjiro really doesn't hold a candle to him. That's why I was really having issue with in previous chapter reviews about how Koyaharu was going to write Tanjiro into beating Muzan when he's not as strong as the first user. This is when we start to see Tanjiro linking the different sun breathing techniques together. Page 7, he was able to get all the way up to linking 6 of the sun breathing techniques together before, you know, Muzan intervened and his stamina started to really run out. We have a quote on page 8 from Tanjiro saying that the intense pace is making his lungs heave and his limbs hurt and his heart feels like it's about to explode. We also, on this same page, finally get a time update stating that they have 1 hour left until dawn. I believe the last time we had a time update, it was an hour and 30 minutes. So 30 minutes have passed since that last time update. I think it was like 2 chapters ago. And you know, it's you feel for Tanjiro because you know he's human, right? He doesn't get power-ups. He doesn't have an internal power system he can tap into. It's just breathing techniques. And so as his body begins to slow and the adrenaline begins to wear off, he gets into this fatigue state. And it cost him greatly because Muzan is able to capitalize and smack the dog shit out of him and send him flying. But something goes wrong, right? And you start to see this towards page 12, 13, and 14 of this chapter, in which Muzan has this internal dialogue because what happened was he tried to strike Tanjiro and Tanjiro dodged, and Muzan has this internal monologue to himself in which he questions why he missed. He questions if he's, you know, losing accuracy or what's happening. There's no reason that Tanjiro should be able to keep up with Muzan at this current point. He's a demon, right? So he doesn't get that same level of fatigue that Tanjiro would get, and if he does get fatigue, it is not to the degree or as quick as what Tanjiro is now experiencing. All in all, to sum up what he said is Tanjiro should not be able to dodge considering the fact that they have been fighting for 30 minutes straight. That's what he says. So then we get this conclusion on page 14 that he speculates it's probably because he is slowing down too. In a one-on-one fight, no human could ever last that long against Muzan. Then he speculates it must be something that Tamayo has done when she gave him that you remember when she gave him that I'm drawing a blank, that antidote or that potion in order to try to turn Muzan human again. Well, He needs to be able to talk to her, and since he ingested her cells, he's able to, you know, tap into his subconscious and then tap into her. He asked her, what did you do? That drug you used on me, wasn't it for making demons human again? That was on page 15. We go on to page 16, and she says, the drug I used on you does indeed do that, but I won't tell you what else it does. Use your multiple brains to figure it out for yourself. We all know that Muzan has an ability. Once that he's ingested your cells, or you have his cells inside of you, he is able to access your memory. He accesses her memory. That is when we get a glimpse of Shinobu, who was fixing the potions and fixing the serum that was going to be used on Muzan. And I quote, she says, let's mix 2 poisons. On the assumption he can withstand one, the first one makes demons human again. But if that doesn't work, let's also include something that will have an even greater effect when left over. Moving on to page 18. She says, Shinobu still, quote, for the second one, an aging potion would be perfect. And this one that you made will age Muzan 50 years in 1 minute. Bro, come on, give props when props are due. Koyoharu has outdone himself with this chapter, because I'm gonna be honest with you, one of the major drawbacks that I have when it comes to shonen in particular ending their series is that they overpower their villain to such a degree that there's no feasible explanation as to how you're going to end their life, right? Because, you know, shonen animes, they usually end in a war arc, and, you know, they have power scaled their villain to such a degree that you have to give an instant power up to your main protagonist. And in this case, I love the fact that that is not what Koyoharu is doing with Tanjiro. It was stated early that he has the affinity for sun breathing due to his father, and now up until this point, everybody was speculating, yo, how is the Hashiras, or how is Tanjiro going to defeat Muzan? And then when all the Hashiras went down, you're looking at Tanjiro, like, there's no way Tanjiro with no depth perception is going to be able to solo Muzan. But now it has put them on an even playing field due to this one fact that the poison that they gave Muzan is aging him. Even demons age, and this is going to trip y'all out. After that, on page 19, Muzan finally, it clicks, and he realizes that his body has been diverting strength to fight the rapid aging of his body. That is why he is struggling to fight the Hashiras, and that's why he is currently struggling to fight Tanjiro. All that tells me as the reader is that Muzan could have easily ended this 50 chapters ago, easily, if he was in his prime, but he's not. This also tells us that demons age, and, well, I can't even say that because the amount of time that you find out he's aged is absolutely ridiculous. Muzan's thinking, how many hours ago did Tameo give me the drug? 4 hours? No, almost 5. If I subtract the time it took to start working, it has been active for over 3 hours. In other words, I've aged 9,000 years. This is when he also makes the connection that he should have noticed when the color did not return to his hair. And this is when we get another time call off from the crows, and it says 59 minutes until dawn. So you have that there. In just 60 seconds between Muzan figuring out that he has been poisoned with an aging serum and Tanjiro being slapped like a wet noodle, Tanjiro has got his second wind, he caught his second breath, and he is back at it. He starts it all over again, okay? He is connecting all 12 forms of his sun breathing. He goes sun breathing, solar heat haze, beneficent radiance, clear blue sky, fire wheel, raging sun, flame dance, fake rainbow, dance, setting sun transformation, burning bones, summer sun, dragon sun halo head dance, sunflower thrust. And it's on the last page of this chapter that he connected all 12 forms of the sun breathing technique. So we are going to see what happens with the 13th form, because he's just connected all 12. So if his theory is correct, after you connect all 12, that forms the 13th form, so they say. And now that he's done it once, that's not just enough. He has to continuously do this for the next 59 minutes in order to defeat Muzan. Theoretically, I mean, I would assume if you connected all 12, it would just destroy him. You know what I mean? Like, why is he not being destroyed? He's a demon. You should be able to obliterate him off the soul strength that, you know, he's been affected by a breathing technique, and he's being defeated by a demon slayer, the sun. You know, that's kind of the whole shit of sun breathing. And so yeah. If there's 59 minutes until dawn, you should actually start to be able to see, you know, the sun rise. So Muzan, I'm speculating in the upcoming chapters that Muzan is going to start getting very angsty and anxious, because at this point the sun should be visible. Not in its entirety, but you know, of course, it's starting to break the horizon and things of that nature. But wow, put down in the comment section below what y'all think of it. This is the chapter review. If you made it to the end, thank you for rocking with me. If you are new, go plus ultra and smash that subscribe button. It lets me know that you're rocking with the content, and lets me know that, you know, to keep making these videos. Share the video, like the video, comment what you believe is about to happen. It's over 9,000, y'all. But that is all I have for y'all today. Keep it safe and wrap it tight. I'm out.